Able to get that off, and then the door just falls off. All right, here we are, Canadian junkyard. Okay, pro tip here. Hey folks, welcome back to your favorite YouTube show, Fixing Random Crap with Craig. On site at a buddy's place here in the neighborhood, we are looking at this this pool pump, and interestingly, the pool, sorry, this is the filter, obviously, but the feed is going nicely into the pool. We're getting lots of pressure out at the jets. However, it is also coming quite heavily out the backwash line. So the theory is that maybe there's something going on in here, and we've done a little bit of reading. It looks like it could be a gasket in there, or there could be some debris stuck in here that would cause that backwash valve to remain open. So we're going to take this apart, see what happens. All right, more to come. Okay, quick update. We wanted to take the pressure off of everything here out of the system before we took those screws out of the top. So I just loosened these guys a little bit, and then took out the sight valve, which was actually had a little bit of an air leak anyway. And then we took the top off that. So all the pressure's got off, and now we're going to take those screws out of the top, see what it looks like. Okay, so we've got all the screws out here. Like I say, we released the pressure. So now this pops right out. And what you'll see is that there is a hole there. This is what this looks like. I'll turn it all the way around for you. There's a hole one hole there. And of course, that's what is controlled by the old turner knob at the top. And when we have it set on filter right now, so that allows the water to go straight down that hole right there, which sprinkles it over the top of the sand. You can see there's a bunch of holes there. I think that just kind of evenly distributes it across the top of all the sand. And then, it makes its way back to the pool. The hole down here at the bottom should be how the water comes back up through. And it's probably hard to see there, but that, you can see kind of down the bottom. That's the top of the vertical or lateral assembly. You'll see in one of my other videos if you want to know what a lateral assembly looks like. That's how that water comes back up and then can get distributed to where it needs to go. So again, though, if that gasket, related to the problem that we're trying to deal with right now, that corner of the gasket right by what is the backwash line was not seated well, and we got a feeling that that's what's causing the problem. So, we may need to get a new gasket, but again, in a pandemic here, might just take a shot at trying to seal this one up. So we've read that silicone is an option. We're going to try and dry this out really well. We took the hose and cleaned out, there was some grass and stuff because that piece had been lifted up. There was some dirt and stuff that had caught in behind there. So we cleaned it all out. And we're going to dry it really well and try and hit it with a little bit of silicone and see if that seals it up good. And maybe we'll be back in business. All right. Okay, here we go. So what we've decided to do is, since this is reseated, the valve in there, the gasket, sorry, we dried it out really nice, seated it in there well. I noticed these screws weren't super tight when I took them out. So maybe it wasn't pressing down hard enough on that to kind of give a good seal against that gasket. So we're going to give it a shot and see if this fixes it, until at least we can get into a pool store and maybe get a replacement gasket if this doesn't work or whatever. One thing I did just notice is I'm putting these screws back on. I'm assuming all these are kind of the same. There's sort of a flat side and then a little bumpy side. I'm going to put those bumpy side ones up so that it helps tighten this thing down. So we're going to put this back together, turn it on, see what happens. All right, folks, we're in business. Everything's all put back together, and we are no longer leaking at the backwash. We're getting water into the pool, which we want. Everything's good. We had a leak here. We fixed that up with a little bit of new Teflon tape, and even though I said to myself I need to make sure I put this on the same way, of course I put it on the wrong way first, put all the screws in. Then my buddy realized before we turned it on, which was good. So we did all that again. So keep track of where it is pointing at you, where this thing sits before you take it off. Watch those nuts, make sure you put them on the right way, and check your gasket, because that could be the only reason that you're losing water out the backwash line. And hope this helps out. Take her easy.